in front because, again, if you fall, it's nicer to fall on your blanket. Which means if we're getting into a twist, you have to be facing away from the blanket and then turn toward the blanket. The legs. Remember, you could squat down like this, because not everyone can use like squatting with the wrapped leg. Really, the primary reason for wrapping the leg, and I never thought of this until one of my own teachers said, this is how I teach it, and I see a higher success rate. It's because the thighs are already adducted. So if your thighs are already here, you don't have to think about doing it when you're in a squat. Either way is fine, and both ways work. It really kind of depends on the ways. So I'll show it this way because I have a higher success rate. So when you lower into your squat, the heel is going to come off of the ground, which I think you can't really see very well right now. My heel's off the ground. I'm squeezing my thighs toward each other, and I'm focusing on my lower body because I haven't gotten my hands in position yet. And then I'm going to start twisting toward the blanket, and I'm going to keep focusing on the lower body. And once I get my hands in position, that becomes my new first focus. So now I'm focusing on Hastabana, working through my hands. Then I aim my knee up toward the shoulder or the armpit, and I can start leaning forward. This is an incredible place to build strength, just doing this. And like watch, I'm not sinking, I'm pushing. And then eventually you get into it and your shoulder and your knee kind of like find a cool place they agree on. And then you can kind of bend into the arms more, and your bottom foot will pick up on its own if everything else is in alignment, which sounds fake. Everyone always thinks like easy for you to say. Well, it is easy for me to say because I'm in correct alignment. Not correct alignment, I'm in ideal alignment. Because before your body finds ideal alignment, it's as if there was a magnet in your foot and the floor is metal. Your foot just stays stuck to the ground. And you'll probably be like that for a while, and maybe you just take a little time like picking that foot up for a second, or maybe balancing on your toe instead. And then one day your body finds ideal alignment and your foot picks up on its own. So it might kind of look more like this. Okay, so fast forward, I'm working here, and my foot feels like it's glued to the floor because I just haven't figured it out yet, so it's kind of like this. And that's fine. Or maybe you're here, and you're just kind of like, and that's okay too. So let's say my body finds ideal alignment. I'm going to focus on pushing through my hands first. Squeeze my legs, maybe extend. I'm going to keep pushing my shoulders kind of like away from the ground. So that way I'm not dropping here. Which is kind of what happens a lot of the time. People kind of do this in this arm balance and they end up like becoming friends with their blanket. So, earlier I said we kind of jump back to a topic. I gotta do the other way now, I'm too twisted up on that side. And I'll do it with this. So earlier we were talking about sometimes you get a little bit of a dip in the shoulders when you're learning, because sometimes when you're learning to lift, people stack their joints like this. So I don't know if you can see a second ago, I was here. My hip was off of my elbow. But sometimes to learn how to pick up, people stack their joints, and because, I mean, you can see right now my shoulders are crooked. Whereas here my shoulders are straight. So this is kind of a great starting point to get comfortable with lifting, but this is where you're wanting to go eventually. So let's say I'm getting in without the wrapped leg. And keep pushing, and then I'm going to squeeze my legs and extend them away from each other, which I think is harder. And any last questions or comments?
It's so tiring.
Yeah, it is. I have to pretend like I'm not exhausted when I'm teaching. And then you just do this next thing, and everyone's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Just like that.